All right, welcome to the video today. We're going to take a look at bringing the Stormdrum 2 perc engine into the ReMidi 2 engine. So basically playing Stormdrum inside of ReMidi. And it works really good. In fact, I think it works better than Stormdrum just when you play it standalone. The ReMidi engine just sets up all the layers and the slices in a way that you can demo and test different instruments with different performance MIDI really quickly. So let's take a look at how we set this up. We have one layer with the Play Stormdrum 2 on it. So this is the older version of the Play engine, so this isn't the new Opus. But many people have Stormdrum 2, so I thought this would be a really good demonstration how you can bring percussion into ReMidi. So we have the Stormdrum on one track, we have ReMidi 2 on the other track, and we set up ReMidi 2 so that the input is our keyboard, so I can play slices of using ReMidi. And with the play track, you have to set it up that its input will be ReMidi 2. So I set that up. And also with the play track, make sure that the MIDI channels are set to any. That allows you to play 16 tracks of MIDI on this one track of play here. And once you have that set up, then next we can get into how we load up the sounds and set up Cubase. All right, so now that we have our tracks set up, let's quickly set up ReMidi and then we'll set up play. So as you know, in ReMidi, you can click here and load up any folder on your hard drive. So in this case, we want to go to our Stormdrum 2 MIDI performances. Click that, and we see that Stormdrum comes with 100 different multi-layered performances, right? So there's a lot of MIDI information here. And in this case, we're going to double-click Big Valley. It loads up into this square here, and we can see immediately that we have all our separate tracks of instruments available to turn on and off. So we can just clear them out and turn them on one by one. And we can see the MIDI notes start to populate up here. All right, that's looking good. Then we just match it. So we go into play and we say, okay, we want the MIDI performance multis here. We choose that, and we can see all the different sample layers here, which correspond to the exact same name here. So load up Big Valley in ReMidi and load up the preset Big Valley here. So we double click on that, which loads it up right here into play. So we're about ready to go. One other thing to keep in mind is each one of these presets has a different time signature and beats per minute, and it tells you right here. So you know exactly. Now I can go to my DAW, double click down here and change the beat per minute to 190. Do that. Change the time signature to 3/4 time. I've done that down here. And now when I play my slices, I can choose what layers of instruments to play. And also you can now go in the mixer here at play and you can mix all the sounds. So we can basically mix the MIDI as we like in ReMidi, and we can mix the sounds in the play engine. Gives you a lot of control. So let's just play our first slice. It's a bit loud, so. So right away we're getting different slices, different bits of MIDI playing. And if that's too much, we can just turn off a couple of the instruments and we're in control. And remember, ReMidi is touch sensitive on your keyboard, so the velocity sensitivity is there. So if I push down lightly, if I push down hard, there's a difference. So that's working good. And so now we can say, we can just choose what instruments we want to play and hear as we demo all kinds of slices. And I'm not sure why that's... Let's make sure that we have the right... And so we have all these tracks on down here. Let's check the MIDI slice, make sure it's bigger to see a lot more of the MIDI information. All right, now let's try it. Sometimes you got to keep in mind, if you're zoomed right into a small slice size like we were at 4, you might not be hearing all these layers. That's why we couldn't hear these 5, 6, 7, and 8 layers, because there wasn't any MIDI on that particular small slice. But now that I zoomed way out, we're getting a lot more of the instruments playing. And if you want to hear the entire, see all the MIDI, just go out to 128 for your slice size, or even smaller, but 128 usually is enough to see the entire MIDI track. And then you can play the entire thing. And if you want to hear all the instruments with all the tracks, just make sure select all, and everything's on, and then go to your slices. So it allows you to go see the entire performance and mix and match whatever sounds you like, pan them, and actually go into the filters and turn off. You can see some of the MIDI going away now as we choose only certain instruments to play. Now I can turn more instruments on as it goes here. So you're really in control of everything, and you're able to test a lot of things out quickly. And let's just, for the sake of just seeing another one here, let's quickly go to something else, Bird of Faith. Double click on that. It instantly brings it into our first box here, so that's set up. We have all the instruments on at this point. And then again, just go to your browser, and we want Bird of Faith. Double click on that. And OK to discard the changes, yes. And that will load right in. And we know that this one is 4/4 time at 94 beats. So we click here, go to 94 beats, and change that to 4/4. And now we should have a whole different set. And then it becomes a little more fun when you zoom in. So let's go back to something like a slice of, say, 6. And now we're going to get more, maybe even smaller. And you can see a lot of MIDI notes there. But if we go to the filter, we can clear everything and just bring in certain beats that we may want in there. And now we're sampling at a very smaller area, more unique sounds and slices. And then when when you find something you like, you can simply go up to the box here, and as we've shown before, it's very simple to drag that MIDI out into your program here. So that way you can capture this slice of MIDI. So you can just drag that out right up here in the corner, drag that out into one of your MIDI tracks. And now, if we get this out of the way, we can see that particular slice of MIDI information right down here. And as long as you have your Stormdrum set up the same way, that will play. And so now you've captured that little MIDI or percussion performance. So from here you could go and create two MIDI ReMidis with play, and you could do some syncopated beats kind of playing against each other simply by having one of the tracks slightly shifted, and you'll get a bit of a syncopation between two beats. So if you were to duplicate this track, you would have two Stormdrums and two ReMidis, and you could get some syncopations of your beats. So it's a really handy way to test all the MIDI and sounds inside Stormdrum 2 without having to set it up, because Stormdrum 2 alone, standalone, you have to drag out many channels of MIDI, and they all take up a track, and you kind of have to turn, mute other tracks, solo some tracks, take bits and pieces of MIDI. Then you have to also be mixing in your mixer. Here it's all done quickly inside of ReMidi, where you can simply turn the tracks off and on here very quick, a lot faster than going through the tracks here, in my opinion. And also you have the advantage of changing your slice sizes, demoing them very quickly on your keyboard. So all in all, it's a really kind of handy, fast way to get percussion inside your ReMidi 2. Hope you have a great day today, that you can make some music, and we'll see you on the next video.